Hello, beautiful people. Today I'm going to be sharing some of the tips that I used to become debt free, some of the money saving tips, and just something a little fun to show you. So I do apologize if you can't see this very clearly. This is a copy of a copy, and of course it's on my computer, so it might be a little difficult to see. But this is just something a little fun and motivating that I came across quite a few years ago, and these are the 10 commandments to financial freedom. It has, thou shalt pay the Most High first. Thou shalt pay yourself second. Thou shalt take action. Thou shalt pay off any credit card debt. Thou shalt understand the difference between wants and needs. Thou shalt live on less than you earn. Thou shalt set financial goals. Thou shalt educate yourself. Thou shalt make sound and wise investments. Thou shalt protect your finances. Now, you can tweak these however you want. At this point, I do not tithe anymore. So this one I do in other ways, being it helping people or, providing for their particular need at that time. But we'll go into that a little later. But these other sound principles, they never change. They're very helpful. And these are just some things and some tips that you could use to help you along your way. Now, these other tips are things, and most of these I actually did do during the 5.5 years that I was actually getting out of debt. I paid over $92,000 in student loans after, all of the interest was added in. But these were some of the things that I did to help get out of debt as far as saving money was concerned. And the first thing that I did, because I was following the Dave Ramsey 7 baby steps, was I saved $1,000 in my emergency fund. And that's usually the hardest step of all, because it is the first step, and the first step is usually the hardest step. So saving that $1,000, once you do that, you want to get it into an account that you're not going to have much access to. What I did purposely was I put it into a federal credit union, and I did not get a debit card to this account. I did not get any access. If I wanted this money, I would have to physically go to this bank to get it out. So that's something you can do if you think that it'll be challenging for you to have access to it, just to give yourself that extra barrier. So savings can be a difficult task because life happens, and here are a few other little tips that you can do to find extra money. And again, I apologize for you not being able to see this very well. This is on the back of another print out. That may be better if I hold it there. However, you can still see the background. All right, so these are the tips. You want to get on one accord with your spouse or your accountability partner for singles. You want to consider selling your house if your house expenses or your PITI is more than 25% of your take-home pay. Now, I did actually sell my house. I did not have to do this, but I decided to do it to give myself an extra boost and get out of debt even faster with the equity that was in my home. You can sell your house. You can also sell your car if it's more than 50% of your annual salary, and you can buy little beater cars. Now, I had Beamers. I bought one, and then I bought two, and after that, and how expensive they are to repair, I bought myself a 2002 Honda, and by the time I was done with the Honda a couple years ago, it had over 212,000 miles on it, and it was still running very well. So yeah, that car did me well. It was great on gas, and I'm glad I made that switch while I was actually getting out of debt. So if you get a tax refund, you want to increase your exemptions on your W-4 so that you can bring more money home. And of course, I'm not a tax advisor, so speak to your tax advisor or your tax preparer to make sure that this is going to be beneficial for you. Okay, so you also want to shop for bundle or cheaper insurances. So one thing that I have as a bundle insurance is my homeowners and my car insurance, and renter's insurance. It's all on the same, company, and that saves me a bit doing it in a bundle like that. because the more policies you have with them, more than likely they'll give you a discount. Then you want to stop contributing to your 401k and your IRAs and cash out your employee stock. Now, this is up to you, of course, but these were things that I actually did while I was getting out of debt. I did stop contributing to my retirement accounts for certain periods of time. You want to change your cell phone plan. If you can go ahead and find yourself something a little more affordable. I am with Verizon, and I have been for a very long time, and I've been debating about getting rid of them, but I just haven't yet. But that's definitely something you should and you can do. Now, one thing I did get rid of and I haven't had in a very long time is a home phone. So, just keep that in mind. You want to drop the cable. That's something I did do, I have done, and I am still doing. I have not had cable in years and years and years. I can't remember the last time I did. It's have to have been about at least 7 years or more that I haven't had cable. You want to negotiate your interest rates. Now, you can do this on your credit cards and anything else you may have, interest on. You want to stop using your credit cards. Now, with Dave Ramsey, of course, he advises you not have credit cards at all. However, I did, and I still do, because once you get that credit monster going, it's very hard to stop it or cut it off, because it's hard to go back down to zero or like you never had any credit if you've already started that. So since I already had it, I kept my good credit. I paid my credit cards on time. And but while you're trying to get yourself out of debt, you want to stop using these cards. You want to pay them off, use them at a very minimum. And if you know anything about credit, you want to know it's not good to close any credit cards. So like I said, if that credit monster is already going and you're not at zero or having never engaged your credit, you just have to continue to try to keep that going as best as you can, but not maxing out your credit cards and going absurd with that. Another thing is stop eating out. Prepare your lunches, prepare your meals, do your meal preps, things like that. The other thing, no vacations. You can take little mini vacations, but big extravagant vacations where you have to save up for months and months at a time to be able to take them, that's a no-no when you're trying to actually get yourself out of debt. Now, again, this can be tweaked to whatever your liking is. If you think that you can cash flow it and do it, then hey, but these are just tips, okay? You want to avoid buying expensive gadgets like the latest phone, the latest car, the latest this or that, even for your kids. Don't be afraid to tell your kids no, okay? You want to quit buying the latest and hottest name brand clothing. This is something I never did. I have been a thrift shopper most of my life. I've kind of pulled back on the thrift shopping lately just because of COVID and a whole lot of other things that have been going on. But yeah, name brand that's just never been my thing. But for people that name brands are your thing, you want to cut back on it, because honestly, nobody knows how much you pay for something except for you. So what is the point? So that's just, again, a personal thing, I suppose. You want to cut down on your entertainment costs. If you have to take your kids out of some of these sports, you don't have to cut them out of everything, but they don't have to play every sport every season. You don't have to go to the movies every weekend. You don't have to buy them the latest games or game consoles. You have to think about the future and how none of these things are going to matter in 5 or 10 years. They're not even going to remember them. They'll be chucked in the trash or in a corner somewhere. So get yourself out of debt and in a better financial, place, so that you don't have to depend on them when they become adults. You want to think about your future. All right. You want to consider taking your kids out of private school and or sports. And I stated that earlier when I said to cut out entertainment costs and other expenses. You want to cash out whole life policies. Again, that's a personal choice. To each his own. Some people love whole life policies and see the benefits in that. Some people like term policies, which I do, and see the benefit in that. Or some people like a mix of both, and that's up to you. But this is just a tip. Again, you want to cut coupons. If you can, cut your coupons so you can save a little here and there. And last but not least, get yourself an extra job. You can do overtime, dog walking, Uber, babysitting, dog sitting, delivering pizzas, you name it. Whatever it is that's going to get you out of debt into your next step. So I hope that some of these tips were very beneficial for you. Again, I apologize for the visuals. I know it's not very clear or good to see, but hopefully me talking it out and walking you through it helped you a good bit. So again, I hope this was a blessing to you, and good luck in your debt-free journey.